Hey guys, welcome back to the Psyched Out podcast. And today I've got Leiden, I've got Lucas, and I've got Isaac with me today. And the topic for this night's episode, Craig is the man recording it for us. The Discord bot. Oh yeah, we're trying out Discord. See if it's better, because I mean, did some test recordings and it seemed better. And I sure hope it is. And I hope I can, after this, I can get the recording better and sounding clearer. So today's topic is, are humans better at creation or destruction? And it is a very controversial topic because we've, as humans, have created many great things. Such as the Eiffel Tower, Great Wall of China, Times Square. We've even created airplanes, which is something incredible. Big chunks of sky that fly. Big chunks of metal that fly. Big chunks of sky. Oh my god! It's been a rough half hour before recording, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the fact is that we've created so much. But in the process, we've also destroyed so much to create all the things we've created, and that's where things get iffy. So, are we better at creation or destruction? Who wants to start? Who wants to start? Who's got a good idea? Who's got a good lead?
Okay,
Well, all right. I guess I'll start.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, my opinion is, obviously I'm a human, so I might be a little biased. It's like, I like to think humans are better at creation because, like, I like to live on the earth, and I'm glad that humans are a thing. But truly, if I was an animal or an organism or a plant, I wouldn't want humans because with all the industrial pollution and, everything else they bring in, it's awful. So I think they create more destruction, but I'm still a human, so yeah, I guess that's my short take on it. I'll probably think of more after.
Yeah, and I mean, like, imagine if you were a squirrel. Like, let's just take a squirrel for example, and people were cutting down trees and clearing land to build a plot for something, whether it be a house or a new building in the city, and you're that squirrel, and your home gets destroyed. I mean, if squirrels had feelings, I mean, we don't really know if they do or not, but just suppose you're squirrel.
I'm pretty sure they have feelings.
Okay, all right. We're a squirrel. You've got feelings, and your home's destroyed by these weird people, Homo sapiens or whatever, that walk on two legs. It's just not fun. Imagine if, like, a big squirrel and excavator came out and just destroyed your house. That wouldn't be very fun.
That would totally happen.
I mean, whoever thought it would happen, like, whoever thought we would be doing that,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I feel like as the human population grows, we build more to our cities and towns and homes, but at the same time, we're destroying so much of the world and its natural resources and habitats of the place that we live on, and those are things we need as well. Destroying is a lot easier and faster than creating.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so much easier to knock down a sandcastle after building it for an hour. Or like how Rome was built it took hundreds of years for it to be built. It was burnt down in 6 days.
Yeah. So
and I feel like, but then there's another argument where people say that destruction is necessary to create something.
Mm-hmm.
Your materials and resources have to come from somewhere,
right?
Which is our world that we live on, and it's already bad enough that so many of our rainforests and just habitats have been cut down already. It really is a shame that destruction has to take place as creation, if creation has to happen. Um, do you guys have any ideas or any opinions to share about that?
Oh, yeah, it's far easier to destroy rather than create. Like, as you said, like it takes hours to build at least a very good sand castle, but then you can destroy it in a matter of seconds. And then, as you said, it requires some destruction to do creation. You can also say that like the other way around, like how we create weapons to destroy entire cities, you know?
Yeah, that's
point.
also that's and then like those types of like flip flop kind of scenarios. It's really hard to actually come up with a solution. A lot of people can argue that we humans are better at destruction because of all the things we've destroyed in the past and everything we're destroying now. And we are currently destroying our Earth with the fossil fuels, and no one was like aware of that until not too long ago. And we also develop cures to destroy things that destroy us. So it's just a cycle. It's like a triangle, where everything is connected, and you just can't escape it. Something has to be destroyed or created, be destroyed or created. And that's the sad reality of it. That I mean, that's what I think. So I don't really have an opinion on whether or not. I mean, we're incredible at creating, whether it's architecture or vaccines, medicines, or creating things that destroy it, like Isaac pointed out. I think humans are incredible at that, but at the same time, we've done so much destruction in our history, throughout our history. I think we've become unaware and kind of blind to that fact, how much we've actually destroyed. I mean that's my view on it.
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah, go ahead, Lucas. I was just about to ask.
Okay. Bold claim, and I'm not an expert in anything. Pretty dumb, but I think that one of the things that separates humans from other animals is our ability to drastically change our environment. And it's not like we're the only ones that can. You know, you can just look at, I don't know, something simple like a beaver or something. They build a dam, stops water flow, it's changing the environment. But you know, a difference between that and a human is humans can build skyscrapers and humans can build monuments and humans can lay hundreds of miles worth of roads down and put things up in space and orbit. And so it's a huge drastic change to our environment that we're able to do, and we're able to create incredible things because of it, able to create large scale civilizations and all of these different aspects of human life that have come to be normal, or something like, I don't know, say large fields of agriculture. But the cost at the same time, like you were saying, Isaac, like you were saying, Avery, is that the cost of that stuff is, if you want to build a skyscraper, you need to clear the land out to be able to do that. If you want to plant large fields of crops, whatever it be, that's ultimately it's going to end up displacing animals. So there's always this like push and pull between, if we put all our resources into creating this thing, is the reward going to outweigh the cost at the end? And I think most of the time, I think it does, but you kind of see that the cost of those creations, whatever they may be, it's almost in a sense humans are always paying for them down the line, whether it be for paying to clean up oceans because of all the trash that gets into it, or I don't know, push towards helping the environment because of whatever is polluting it. It's this whole. I think that we're really good at creating, always comes at the cost of some damage to something.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, creation is inevitably going to it's inevitably going to bring on some sort of destruction because we have to like destroy the plot of land in order to build a skyscraper or gather the materials to make our rubber boots, I suppose. It's just going to be a constant cycle of destruction just so we can create for ourselves. But from what I've seen a lot in this episode so far is that humans are just better at destruction and always will be. But I think like, and that's mainly because of like time, really, because destruction is just so much easier. It's going to happen in a matter of seconds rather than the years it takes to build a skyscraper. But what I think makes creation perhaps just better in some way than destruction, that we're better at it in some way, is that when no matter how long it takes, we still put ourselves through it just to get that end goal of creation. Like humanity has gone through like millions of years, thousands, millions of years to just get to where we are now. From the stone spears of the Stone Age to these shuttles that we launch into the space.
Yeah. That very good point there, and I think we're just talking about a few aspects of creation and destruction, and like the pure evidence that we are better at creation is the fact. Actually, my dad brought this up earlier when I told him about our topic. He says evidence that we're better at creation is the fact that our population is still growing. We're still here.
That's a good point.
Good at creating environments and conditions for us as a species to grow. But as my dad's girlfriend pointed out, you're also destroying other organisms and species habitats and the Earth's like natural resources. And that's evidence that we're better at destruction. But I think in that scenario, it proves we're better at creation, because the fact that our population is still growing more than it's decreasing means is that in terms of making the world suitable for us to live in, we are better at creation. Like look around you. Do you see things that are built? Do you see things that are clean and sorted out well? Do things work smoothly? I'm sure we can all say yes to that. I mean, I'm not walking around. I don't see rubble and destruction everywhere I go. At least here. And then maybe some other places, like if you've been living near a rainforest, wherever you are, somewhere warmer, of course. Let's say over the span of a decade, things were fine. Things were being built, yes. And then 10 years later, you realize, holy crap, almost everything's gone. It's just sad. And I don't think there's really any clear answer for it. Like in different scenarios, there's a clear answer.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's not something you can find out in a 40-minute conversation.
Right.
I mean, like, of course, growing our population, we're better at creating that growth. In fighting viruses, we're better at creating the vaccines to destroy the viruses that are destroying us.
What's kind of interesting about oh, sorry, what is it?
No, that's all right. You can go.
I was gonna say, you're talking about how at least here in America you can look around and it's most likely you're not going to see dilapidated buildings or rubble in the streets or destroyed buildings, whatever you want to say. But it's certainly an argument for humans being able to create more than we can destroy. But see how I remember. I think it was a couple years ago. We went to what would be the better example? Oh, we went to I remember we went to Punta Cana a couple years ago. It's in the Dominican Republic, and it's one of those weird contrasts where people go to these really gorgeous
Can you
islands.
guys hear me?
People go to these really gorgeous islands and you stay on these resorts, but right outside the resort wall, the place is basically falling apart, unfortunately. But anyways,
Yo,
yeah,
Lyden, you keep on muting yourself when you're talking.
oh, I do.
Yeah, and now we can hear you.
yeah, we're good.
Alright.
Have you been trying to talk this whole time?
Yeah.
Lucas, do you mind? Like, Lyden, do you have stuff to say?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I think Lucas said something that I was gonna add on to. I forgot what it was. Just keep talking. I'll think of it.
All right, Lucas, go.
So yeah, outside so we create this beautiful resort. We create all the stuff around it. Outside.
Oh, right. Yeah, can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought of it. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
It keeps saying you guys are muted. I don't know why.
Well, we keep muting to let you talk, so that we don't have any excess sound.
Okay.
So.
All right, yeah. So what I was gonna say is, human creation, it only benefits scientific research and the knowledge of humans, and it doesn't really benefit any other species or anything else on life. Like, for example, they send monkeys up to space and shit. Obviously that doesn't benefit the monkeys, and they experiment on them, and a lot of them die. And then in a lot of test facilities, they test different products on animals, like rats and, probably monkeys again. So, yeah.
It's a good.
I just don't human creation. It's a great thing for humans and to learn more, but one day it's all going to be gone. The world's going to end at some point. And the world might end because of us before it would end because of something else, like an asteroid or something. So, yeah, that's a matter of the fact. So, or fact of the matter. That's my take on it.
That is a very good point. Isaac, I saw you make some sound. You have something to say?
Oh yeah, it's very true that humanity will fall into destruction and such, but what's really amazing about humanity, even in destruction, during destruction, that creation is the best. It's the creation. Fudge. What is the?
But what are you trying to find?
In a time of destruction, it's best to just create. Really, with empires, like the Roman Empire, after its place, after it began falling, the Byzantine Empire immediately took its place and was created and revolutionized many things alongside the Romans. And there's always going to be, after some time of destruction, something's going to be created to take its place.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, we're here.
You
can't hear us? Isaac's talking.
No, I don't know why. I can't.
If you have something to say, just type it in the chat, Lyden, and we'll.
You could try leaving the chat and going back.
Yeah, try that. Isaac, go on.
Well, yeah, just in a time of destruction, creation is really all that's left to do. As I've heard many people say, once you hit rock bottom, there's always going up. You can only go up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's the case with humanity. Like in times where there were destruction, like many like rose up and like created like I don't know, like I'm not quite sure, but in like many possible scenarios, there's always going to, like in many like disastrous scenarios, there's always going to be some group of people that are working together to rise up and like create a new chance for humanity.
Yeah.
It's there's what is it? It's like creation's a broad topic, and it doesn't have to just apply to physical things. There's one example I'm thinking of in World War II when I hope I'm getting this right. It was World War II, and it was during the Blitzkrieg when Britain bombed a city in Germany named Dresden. I think that's the name of it. It might have been the opposite, but I think this is what it was. This city, Dresden, is bombed, and the inhabitants in it are living in basically hell for days upon days, just from the sheer amount of explosions going off, the people dying from suffocation, people dying from burn wounds, all this stuff. But what was interesting from it is I've read some of the people's, I guess, their takes on that horrific time period. And they said one of the most striking things that they said about it was that because they're in such a chaotic and destructive situation, the only thing that was left for them to do that they felt was right was to come together. So, in that sense, these people were able to take this destruction and create a community that was able to basically, just keep their morale at least at some stable level so they could push themselves through the nightmare that they were living through. So it's kind of like, it's almost in a sense, at least in that example, that destruction breeds creation, and maybe vice versa.
Yeah, and like whenever anything destructive happens, whether it be an organism trying to destroy another one or a weapon trying to destroy another weapon, new creation and ideas for a new creation comes out of the destruction and suffering that was caused by the destruction. So just it's just because we cannot be. It's such a weird topic. Like whenever you think about one end of the spectrum, it always comes back to the other end. It's like playing ping pong back and forth. There's no real solution to it. And I think a lot of it actually comes down to right and wrong as well, and what people perceive to be right and wrong. Like what Leiden was saying, a lot of the things we've created to benefit our of humans' existence in this world. And the fact that we are trying to go to another planet to create a new life there, does that mean we're going to treat Mars, for instance, the same way we treated Earth? It's going to take an incredibly long time for trees to grow and for a stable environment to actually become present, probably way after our lifetime. What kind of destruction is going to happen to be able to create that life on another planet for human beings? What will it mean for every other species on Earth from then on? There's so many questions, so many answers. Every answer you give contradicts itself.
It almost delves into like territory of like what is human nature, and is human nature inherently good or evil, something like that. That's just a whole nother world of discussion.
And that is, and it all comes down to what's good and bad.
Mm-hmm. Right, and it's like, how do you define good and bad?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Like in one man's eyes, it was good to destroy, and then in someone else's eyes, it was good to destroy the thing that was destroying something else.
Mm-hmm.
Create peace of some sort. But it's just, oh god, another topic, peace, that brings up. Now, because of creation and destruction and how it always contradicts itself, it's like looking in the mirror. Can you truly bring peace to something without destroying something else?
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. It's like it's just one question after another, and then you try to give an answer, and then you realize the answer could also be the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And believe me, I did my research, and everything, every end result I could come up with was that because we don't want to destroy, we're not able to create. Because we're unwilling to become destroyers, we cannot become creators. So it's like you can't say yes without saying no, but you can't say no without saying yes to something.
Yeah.
Like someone walks up to you, 2 + 2 is 5. What's your answer? Yes or no?
Probably no.
What do you think, Lyden?
Probably.
And Isaac?
Probably no. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's just, it defies logic, right?
Yeah.
But then we have to have a reason to say yes to something that we believe in. It's like if someone asks us creation or destruction for this specific thing, we say, "Oh, it's better to create that whatever building there." Okay, what do we need to destroy to create that building? There's always a price. There's always a cost to something. So there's always a benefit to a cost and a cost to a benefit.
Yeah. But let me see. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna spend the time looking. I'm just gonna see if I can paraphrase it. But that what you were saying, it reminds me of kind of reminds me of this quote. It might not be the appropriate use of it, but it's like this Buddhist monk shows a stick to his student, and monk says, "If you say this is a stick, I will hit you with it, and if you say it's not a stick, I'll still hit you with it." And the student looks at the stick, and after some consideration,
Oh, you cut out a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it shows you're talking, but we can't hear you.
Me neither.
Oh, that's weird. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he just totally cut out. Lucas, try leaving and coming back real quick. That worked for Leiden. It shows you're talking, but yeah, we can't hear you. Does anyone have like anything to and any final words before Lucas finishes what he's saying?
Well, when it comes to a topic like this, it always is going to turn into a discussion of like human nature and the human condition. Like it's human, like the human condition in depending on what it is, it will either breed destruction or creation. Like hate will only breed more hate. It'll just be a cycle, and
Yes.
creation will inevitably breed more creation. It's just a constant cycle. But most of the time, sometimes during that cycle of hatred and destruction and creation about, and one of the examples I was reminded of with what Lucas was saying earlier, there's like two examples, both from the same time period. During World War II, when Germany was bombing the hell out of England, many of the British people still continued with what they were doing. They still continued with what they were doing, and the bombing raids actually brought the people together, and it even like made the British people stronger because men had quit drinking during these times, and it had made them stronger, and it brought the community closer together. And another example, after World War II, Japan was in shambles, and it also like in every way almost like in terms of infrastructure, it was in shambles, and economy especially. Japan just had almost no food, no money at that point in time. And then, but miraculously, Japan in the 60s and 50s had experienced a post-war economic miracle and had become like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's become like a superpower in terms of the economy. Like so much stuff is like from Japan, like our technology, like our TVs, our headphones, so much of it is like from Japan. Like my PlayStation, that's from Japan. It's just a miraculous thing that after such hatred and destruction, that something so like miraculous and such creation like could come out of it almost immediately.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, that's straight up facts. Lucas, try unmuting and see if you can talk.
Yo,
There we go.
there we go.
You want to finish what you were saying?
Okay, what did I stop saying? Like, where did I cut out?
Question. Good question. I can't actually remember.
Did I say what the quote thing that I was talking about was?
Yeah, it was just after you said right after you said the quote.
Okay, at least that cut through. Okay. So yeah, I was just basically saying it's almost that I think that maybe it's I don't know, that we maybe need to find a separate solution then rather than just I don't know, accepting it as fact that, we create, we destroy, we destroy, we create, but I don't know if I don't even know if there is, a separate solution. It might just be that it is nature that, to build, we destroy, and vice versa.
And like, and the urge
Yeah.
to do those things all comes from perception and your morals about the life in the world and who you are.
Yeah.
That's what everything's been based on throughout history. What we think is right and true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of us can look back on it and say that was complete BS. And a lot of us can look back on it and say, "Wow, I couldn't agree more."
Yeah.
And I do love that quote about the master telling the student, "If you see it as a stick, I will hit you, and if you don't." Wait, what was the second part of it?
It was if you tell me this is a stick, I'll hit you with it. If you tell me it's not, I'll hit you with it. So he takes it and breaks it. The student takes the stick and breaks it.
Big brain. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing to talk about. But I think we can all agree in some aspects we are better at creating than destroying, and we are better at destroying than creating. But at the same
Mhm.
time, there has to be a cost to something of the sort.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That
think
means
you're
that,
probably right.
really avoiding creating without destroying something or destroying without creating something. And I mean, it shouldn't be sad, but it should be something everyone should keep in mind going into this new era. I would call it a new era, honestly. How the world is changing right now. How, oh God, just so much destruction everywhere. And like emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. It's literally destroying. It's crushing. At the same time, new ways to cope with that destruction and to create new hope and new benefits and just new things to do that are good also arise from that. It's like you can't learn without some failure. You can't fail without
Yeah, right.
I guess that's like the message. There's many messages you can get across, but the main message is that just be aware about what's happening around the world, what's happening around you, what you can do to create something for the better, and really decide if that betterness outweighs, or if that creation outweighs the destruction that's involved in making it. I feel like that's when the line really draws. If something is going to cost more to destroy, morally, economically, socially, then it should not be done. But if it doesn't, go ahead. Go ahead and create something positive and fun and new. Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good way to put it.
that's
Yeah,
what I've
just
got.
understanding the cost.
Yeah, understanding. Right, you're exactly right, Lucas. Does anyone else have any final words on this?
No, I don't have anything else to say. Really.
No,
Okay,
I don't.
Leiden. Leiden, do you? Besides that,
No.
all right. And that, my friends, is where we wrap this episode up. Lucas, you haven't done the honors yet. You wanna do the honors? Closing statement.
Okay, guys, thank you all for listening. Tune in whenever we do this again for some more fun content. And while you're at it, please go and check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe. We have some videos up there. It's fun. Why not? We're only here for, I don't know, a good 80 years, so why not waste a couple seconds and subscribe? Check out Twitter, wherever else we are, Spotify too. And yeah, have a good time.